Russia's defense ministry has claimed that their air defense systems intercepted and destroyed 114 Ukrainian drones on the night of 21 to 22 September. A power substation caught fire in Krasnodar Krai, a drone exploded near the city administration building in Belgorod, and a rocket booster from a Russian missile was found in a flat in Slavyansk-on-Kuban. Over the past night, air defense systems on duty intercepted and destroyed 114 Ukrainian aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles, the Russian Ministry of Defense Department said in a statement on its Telegram channel. It was reported that 25 drones were shot down over the Rostov region in Krasnodar Krai, 19 over the Belgorod region, and 13 over the Astrakhan region. 10 UAVs were destroyed over the Crimea, 7 over the Bryansk region, and 5 over the Sea of Azov. 3 drones were destroyed over the Yaroslavl and Volgograd regions, 2 over the Black Sea, and 1 each over the Kursk and Voronezh regions. Sergei Aksyonov said that several facilities on the territory of the Foros sanatorium in Crimea were damaged as a result of a drone strike, with fatalities and casualties reported, while dry grass caught fire near Yalta due to falling debris from a downed drone. According to the operational headquarters, in Krasnodar Krai's Starodorevyankovskaya in the Kanovskaya district, debris from a drone caused a fire at a power substation. It was also reported that drones attacked Slavyansk-on-Kuban in Krasnodar Krai, drone debris damaged houses and triggered a grass fire in an industrial area. It is noted that there were no casualties, and emergency and operational services are working at the scene. According to Astra, a rocket booster from a missile of the Russian Pantsir S-1 system struck a residential building in Slavyansk-on-Kuban. Belgorod Oblast Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov said that in Belgorod, a drone detonated near the city administration building, injuring 2 people.
Выходим нахуй! Вы чё, брат?
Пиздец.
Taking advantage of cloudy weather, the Russian occupation army attempted a breakthrough near Oleksiivka in the Sumy region. This attempt resulted in a massive defeat. This was reported by the Russian Z resource Northern Channel associated with the Russian armed forces. The channel's authors are in panic over the losses. Right now, at this very moment, the 2nd Battalion of the 30th Motorized Rifle Regiment is being brutally destroyed as they approach Oleksiivka. There's no control. They're being chased by drones in broad daylight. They thought the rain would help, hoping for the best. Drones won't fly in the rain, and people are coming. Not just 1 or 2 fighters, but in groups of 4 to 10. Z Channel wrote, Northern Channel claims that the Ukrainian armed forces are actively using heavy attack UAVs called Baba Yaga to eliminate Russian attack aircraft. And this tactic is extremely effective. 1 Baba Yaga and there's no squad. 3 Yagas and platoon is dead. The commanders have no idea what's going on. They've completely lost control, the Russian resource noted. Northern Channel accused the command of this unit of betrayal. Recall, Ukrainian forces continue their offensive on the northern Slobozansky direction. Units have advanced up to 2.5 kilometers while maintaining fire control over key enemy logistics routes. According to the Ukrainian military, on the northern Slobozansky direction, Ukrainian soldiers continue active operations aimed at destroying the enemy and liberating Ukrainian settlements. At the same time, to prevent enemy logistics, evacuation and reinforcement in certain locations, zones of continuous fire coverage against the enemy are maintained. Active operations are taking place in the areas of Oleksiivka and Yunakivka in the Sumy region. Recently, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that his country's forces had advanced into the border districts of the northern Sumy region, an area where Russian troops have been trying to gain ground for months. There are good results in the border areas of the Sumy region, the Ukrainian president said, citing Commander Alexander Syrsky. Our units are continuing to advance in the direction of the state border of Ukraine, he added. Since expelling Ukrainian forces from the Russian Kursk region earlier this year, Russian troops have been trying to establish what the Kremlin calls a neutral zone in the Sumy region. Russia regularly attacks larger cities, including Sumy. Russia has formed units of soldiers infected with HIV, hepatitis, and other diseases and sent them into battle. Soldiers in these units wear armbands indicating their illness. They have been spotted on the front lines around Pokrovsk, the center of the Kremlin's protracted and bloody offensive. The Telegraph reports, there is now information that these units are participating in fighting in the hottest spot, Pokrovsk, said Dmitry Zmylo, executive director of the Ukrainian Center for Security and Cooperation. The media reports that the formation of such units in the Russian army is yet another sign of a deepening healthcare crisis, as cases of HIV, hepatitis, and tuberculosis are rapidly increasing among the troops of Kremlin dictator Vladimir Putin. One Russian unit was also reportedly recently hit by an outbreak of a deadly hemorrhagic fever, which causes victims to bleed from the eyes. Even strictly controlled Russian media outlets have begun reporting on a hidden epidemic of diseases affecting occupation forces in Ukraine. The so-called infected units were formed as part of the 1,435th and 1,437th Motorized Rifle Regiments, relatively new units that are part of the 27th and 15th Motorized Rifle Brigades, respectively. According to the USCC, these units participated in attempts to storm Pokrovsk from the south and southwest. Soldiers from these units were also spotted attempting to enter the city through the village of Zverevo. The infected units are equipped similarly to other Russian military units. In fact, their level of equipment is identical and quite low. The only difference from healthy Russian service members is the various markings, namely the presence of special bandages, Zmylo emphasized. In 2022, the Wagner mercenary group began recruiting prisoners with HIV and hepatitis for the most dangerous combat missions, offering access to antiviral drugs as a form of payment. It is believed that about 100 people were recruited from a penal colony in the Leningrad region. Those infected with HIV were given red bracelets, while those with hepatitis received white ones. However, the formation of such units within the regular Russian army, according to experts, indicates that the practice is becoming more systematic and official. Last October, the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense announced that Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov had quietly issued an order removing hepatitis C from the list of diseases that prevent military service in order to allow thousands of infected prisoners to volunteer for war. The number of HIV cases among Russian troops in Ukraine has risen sharply. By the end of 2023, the number of soldiers with the virus was 20 times higher than at the beginning of the war. The surge in cases is believed to be caused by several factors, including the use of illegal drugs by Russian occupiers. Zmylo also noted that the spread of HIV is facilitated by the actions of Russian medical professionals, in particular the use of non-sterile instruments and the reuse of anesthetic syringes. But the presence of so many sick soldiers on the battlefield also poses a threat to Ukrainian troops. This forces Ukrainian soldiers to be more cautious and take care of their health and safety, Zmylo explained. Hepatitis, which causes liver inflammation and can lead to liver failure, is especially dangerous in wartime. Even after death, the risk of infection remains through blood remaining on bodies and weapons. Similarly, HIV can survive in blood and biological fluids for several hours after a person's death.